Look at the kicks. Look at the kicks. Look at the kicks. Look at the kicks.
Welcome to the sneaker closet where we talk the flyest kicks. Find out when they're about to drop and find out what the value is. Matt and Johnny going in. Make sure you're tuning in. Every week they talking sneaks, a new pair that I gotta get. Welcome to the sneaker closet where we talk the flyest kicks. Find out when they're about to drop and find out what the value is. Matt and Johnny going in. Make sure you're tuning in. Every week they talking sneaks, a new pair that I gotta get.
Welcome back to the closet. I'm your host, Matt Roach, with my trusty, well, not really trusty, just a co-host, Johnny Pena. What up, kid?
Yo, don't do that. Don't do that. You know my body. You know my rap sheet, man. Come on, man. The trusty, the worthy, the all other things that we're not gonna say on this podcast. But yeah, we here, man. I'm not in my sneaker room. As you can tell, I'm in a conference room right now at work. And yeah, man, just coming to provide you guys with that information, the love, and everything over at Kanye West Studios. We're gonna play that Jesus Walk one time for the one time. I mean, I'm not gonna play it right now, but you guys know how it goes. And without further ado, we're just gonna talk about this Lil Nas X story about putting some real blood inside some shoes. I mean, you did it with the I call it the Jesus Walkers. You did it with the Jesus Walkers, and now you're doing it with a shoe. You got Lil Nas X, Mischief. They got sued. Of course, Nike's gonna win. I think they won already. And yeah, I just see, Jesus and the Jesus Walkers just doing a little crossover on the devil real quick in those shoes, like giving it a little splash, a little tingle. But
How you get there is just mind blowing. You got Kanye, you got your Jesus Walks. Like, I get where you're going, but you just look at you just bouncing all over the place.
Well, I mean, you have to when you're comparing both of the shoes. Like,
No, because one of them is an all time great, and the other one is just hot doo doo. I mean, these Lil Nas X shoes, they're just like, apparently they just bought basic shoes and just like customize them.
well, you do know that the Jesus Walkers, Nike didn't release those.
No, but like, I didn't have as much of like, they weren't. Let me try to like articulate. They didn't look as ridiculous, like, and they weren't putting human blood in them.
Yeah, that was just that.
And also, they weren't.
That was weird.
They weren't retailing for $1,000.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what the other ones were retailing, but they definitely weren't $1,000.
Nah, I think they were in the the 3 to 5 range.
What world does he think that he can go buy an off the shelf shoe? And also, how are they getting it in there? Because those are sealed bubbles. Unless somebody at Nike can explain to me how you could get something in there and still seal it, you'd be puncturing the bubble.
I just don't want to see that thing pop because it will look disgusting.
Apparently, it was like a staff member at Mischief. Like, who volunteered for their one drop of blood? Also, you could get caught for like any crime. Your blood's gonna be at like so many random blood sites. Like,
you watch too many Criminal Minds Special Victims Unit.
Yeah, that true crime, baby. What else am I gonna do for a whole year? I've watched every true crime. If there's true crime, I'm on it. You kidding me?
Oh my goodness, man! But yeah, I think it's ridiculous, but
It's
as
stupid.
well, a little more like karma comes full circle, and I think it's just gonna be like a side like, here goes some money, we'll cancel this. But Nike's being sued for the potential USPS drop that's supposed to happen. So
Wait,
they were quick on the ball.
Nike's being sued?
Yeah.
How did I miss that one?
Yeah. Nike was coming out with some, I don't know if it was Postal Air Maxes. I wasn't reading too much up on it because, the weekend is for the boys and Call of Duty, the vibes. But, a little bit of the title was just like USPS is suing Nike for such and such. But it didn't make like...
Oh, I see him. You're right. Yeah, it was like 3 days ago.
Yeah, and I'm like, why?
Well, why wouldn't they just pay them for the rights to use it?
Right.
And the funny thing is, I don't think USPS would go after a small boutique, but I think it would be... Nike's just like notorious. They get into lawsuits with everybody. But this is like kind of blatant.
Yeah.
I'm looking at them right now. They're just Air Force Ones, but I mean, I don't know any person who could look at the back of this. It looks like a USPS label. I mean, they changed the words, but it's 100% a USPS label.
I think it's just like it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous how you sue somebody and now somebody's suing you. Do I think it's gonna become a quick settlement? Yeah, of course.
No, none of this stuff ever goes to court.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I would be fine with it. Like, just credit USPS and have some. I mean, clearly they need money.
I don't think money, honestly speaking.
You don't think USPS needs money?
Hells no.
Do you Do you live under a bubble? The USPS almost shut down.
Did they really?
They needed a bailout of like $75 billion.
Well, why would they? I'm so confused because if they fall out, then how are you going to send mail?
Well, it was because of legislation back in the early 2000s. I'm not going to get into a whole rundown of why the postal
Here
system.
we go. You got Bill Nye the science guy, then you got Matt the information guy.
Don't hate on a brother because I like to read, all right? No, but it was like based on legislation where they had to back all the pensions for all their employees, current and future, up to like an absurd amount. Like the USPS is actually profitable.
That's wild.
But because of like legislation, they had to like do like unheard of like savings towards pension plans. And I mean, it goes much deeper, but that's like the.
No, yeah, that's just the.
But Nike could easily throw some coin their way. Well, you can buy I just looked. Apparently, USPS has a store. You can buy a priority mail crop top for $80.
Somebody get their mans.
I mean, this is fantastic. I love it. I love that
somebody get him out of here.
I love that the USPS actually has like its own shop. I want to do a collab with USPS. Like, this is fantastic. I love everything about this.
Collab?
I don't know, clearly, you could do a sneaker collab. Nike was doing it.
And you see where that's going.
Well, I mean, ask them first. I don't know. To be honest, they're actually kind of interesting. I mean, I wouldn't rock them, but they're kind of clever.
I mean, I think at this point, it's kind of a filler shoe.
Yeah, I like the idea. It's an original collab idea.
No, yeah.
I mean, I think it's kind of cool. I mean, if they actually did like a full on like capsule with USPS, I'd totally be down. Like, and also USPS is like the most universal. Like, I know people complain about shipping times and stuff, but like USPS has like the highest approval rating like of all. Like, I know they're not quasi government; they're like a quasi government agency. But like USPS, they make the world go around. You can complain all you want, but think about your grandmothers, your grandfathers. They get their medication, all those things that like USPS does. Like, you think the world runs on Dunkin's? We run on the USPS.
That's why I said what I said. Like, who's gonna send out our mail? Who's gonna make sure my grandmother gets that letter? Like, hello.
Well, it would go privatized. It would all go through like FedEx. Well, the problem is actually. I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole. It's just not. I'll end it with it's not advantageous for the last mile for companies to cover those routes. But I'll leave it at that because I could go on for. I got to stop. I read a whole book on the United States Postal Service.
Why? Why is a better question.
You don't find that fascinating?
I do not find that fascinating.
That every home of 330 million people get something. You don't find that crazy? That there's one company that reaches 330 million people every day. Every single day, 330 million people.
What are you going to do? I mean, somebody has to do it, right?
Man, they're the OGs of love and logistics, okay? They were that OG. But let's talk about some kicks and some... you want to just go right from a high point and talk about the big one in the room?
Go ahead.
All right, let's talk about these because we all remember that like LeBron, what was it, Grail watch or whatever it was?
It was LeBron watch. Is supposed to drop a pair of shoes every 23rd.
So apparently, well, there was that ranking thing where like you got to pick the winner and the Hardwood Classic won, and I mean that was always a dope shoe. Like the LeBron 8 Hardwood Classic 1 is now going to get a release date some point in 2021. I don't know when. They haven't said, but it's like official. It's actually happening. We got like official looks at them. I have a feeling it's clearly gonna be a shock drop at some point. I assume that's what they're gonna do. It'll be something LeBron related, like the playoffs, or he'll wear them in a game, or you know what I mean. Like it'll totally be something like crazy like that. I'm here for it though. I think I love it when they drop dope shoes that were like PEs and stuff. Like, I mean, PEs are some of the best colorways. So I think this is awesome. I think this is dope that they're gonna do it.
I think I don't know. Obviously, it's like a bittersweet moment because you wished that your pair of shoes that you were voting for were going to release.
Oh
and
yeah.
they're not releasing. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that on LeBron watch they release because I need that. What was it?
Well,
I
there's
think it was the animal print one. That's the one that I really wanted, honestly speaking.
like for me, like that wasn't the big one. I mean, there was just so many.
Yeah.
For me, I think the purple suedes would have probably been the one that I would have jumped at.
Classic.
I mean, those to me are just like fire. I absolutely love those. I've always wanted those. I still want those. But there's also some real heat on there, like Watch the Throne that didn't go as far. The Laker. I'm surprised the Laker threes didn't even make it out of the first round. So I mean, neither did the purple suedes. Those didn't make it out of the first round, which I don't know how those lost to the Fairfaxes. That's just beyond me.
That was mind-boggling.
That made no sense to me. I don't know, but maybe we're just getting old, dude.
I was like, is this real life?
I think we're just getting old.
You speak for yourself.
Wait, the Harvard Classic didn't win. That thing that I was talking about.
Talk about I'm getting old. You're the one that's getting older quicker than I am.
Clearly, no, the ring ceremony 10's won.
I'm only going bald before you do.
Damn, I'm not gonna go bald. You see how much hair I got? I'm not going bald anytime soon.
Just for the simple fact, I got rashed on by a lot of people for wearing a New York Yankees hat. So
people actually gave you a hard time?
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, Matt is kind of right," and I'm like,
when did I become a farmer from the South? Matt is kind of right, over with the crops. Like,
I mean, my brother. I can see you in what are those things called? Jumpers,
overalls
with the little pitchfork. Yeah, I see you.
So I have to go back. So it was the ring ceremony 10s that won. It wasn't the Hardwood Classics, but they were in that same draw from back in what was it? January. They were in that draw. Yeah. They got knocked out in the first round. But they are getting a release, so maybe they thought they were going to win. Who knows? Maybe they had them or maybe they had all these prepped. Not knowing which one was going to win, and they're probably like, "Well, let's just drop some of them here and there."
I'm just really surprised that they didn't win. Like
I mean, I always liked them, but I think it's one of those. I think it's so subjective. I think all of those shoes were extremely subjective.
Right.
I mean, I like them. I'm probably not gonna buy them, but I really like them. I think I've just really fine tuned. I mean, out of the LeBron 8, I clearly want the South Beaches.
Mm-hmm.
I got a spot for those. There's an empty slot in the case. And then I don't know how many others. I hope that the purple suedes at some point release. Got a spot for those.
I mean, I think most of these are actually going to release sometime in the future. I'm not going to say near future because we're already in the near future. Like we're in 2021. So maybe they release in 2022. Maybe they do a shock drop. Maybe they, send people. I don't know.
It's a dope shoe. I like it.
One side of me wants them to be creative, and then the other side of me wants them to be like, yo, here you go.
Shock drops are the only chance that we have at getting them.
Yeah, but I mean, how many times have you been doing something and you're not expecting a shock drop, and then you get a ping notification from somebody like, oh, these just dropped.
I have the Apple Watch.
And then as soon as you go, it's sold out. Like,
I got the Apple Watch, just like goes off.
Yeah, but if you're in the middle of something, you're not going to drop. If you're in the middle of something important, you're not going to drop what you're doing to get a pair of kicks. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But
what would I be doing that's important?
I don't know. You could be going into labor. You're over there pushing, and
Do I?
You just can't be.
How, imagine. Oy vey. You got what have you been putting on that? What have you been rubbing on that head, that bald head of yours? Woof.
I'm not talking about labor as in having a child. I'm talking about labor as in going into the men's room and actually like having to hold on to the railing because you had some bad nacho cheese.
Well, that's just gross. And also, I feel like, and I don't know, I guess I want to hear from New Yorkers, but I feel like if you're like a New Yorker and a Knicks fan, I feel like this is like a dope cop. Like it's true, like OG, like Knicks colors, or at least to me, it reminds me of the Knicks.
Yeah.
So I think they're dope. But on the other side of the spectrum, I mean, let's talk about these Zions, the Jordan Z code, which is apparently the first signature sneaker with Jordan brand for Zion, which I mean, he's a huge get. He's a big, big draw for them. Like I get it, but like these are doo doo.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a no for me, dog.
I think of all the people who've gotten signature shoes, like the big players. I'm talking your LeBrons, your Kobe's, your, anybody who's like, I'm talking they're throwing. I mean, he got what 90 million. Like they're not throwing. He's not the same as like a Paul George or a Kyrie.
Right.
I mean, they threw money at him. Like they threw LeBron money at him.
No, that's a fact.
So these, to me, if this is what your first drop's going to be, these are garbage.
Yeah,
hands down. I don't know.
I mean, do I think that they're going to sell well? Hell yeah. I think they're going to sell well.
I think these are going to sit on the shelves. I think nobody's going to buy these.
I don't think so. Because it goes to show, and I'm taking this from a page out of your book. If someone is playing basketball and somebody admires Zion the way that they do, they're going to go out and cop. There's people in other countries that this might actually release, which I'm pretty sure it's not just going to be the United States. Like, he's going to sell pairs where they're made available.
This is a great grade school drop. Like, this is great for kids. It's really colorful. It's fun. Like, it feels like it's more of a Crayola collab than anything. I mean, if this was a Crayola collab, I'd be like, all right, this is cool. It's a fun way of doing it. But like, I don't know how this relates to Zion. Like, I don't see him as a colorful person. Like, he doesn't like wear like when I think of like a Russell Westbrook or somebody who's like flashy and like they wear color, like what I mean. Like, this doesn't remind me of Zion.
Right.
Like, I don't look at this and go, oh man, Zion, yeah. No. Like and he had his own team. Like it's not like you don't.
Bayou Boys was better. I can tell you that the Bayou Boys was better.
I was fine with that, but this is just like,
yeah.
I have a feeling he must have liked it because there's no way Nike signed off on this, or they had to make it special so it fit him because clearly he blew out a Nike. Like maybe these are reinforced some way. I don't. But the point, these just that I wouldn't wear these. Like these are a great kid shoe. Or if you just really love
grade school and youth size, I think
it's
a pretty dope.
Like I think this would be great for like youth sports and stuff. Like this is dope for little kids.
Yeah. For adults, not so much.
But like, can you imagine Jordan come out wearing these? Like, or can you? Like, I mean, he's like beyond powerful. Can you imagine getting dunked on by a man wearing these?
I can actually.
Well, it's like getting dunked on by a Smurf. Like, they look comfy as hell.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, they look extremely comfortable. Like, this colorway I just hate. I don't hate the shoe overall. I just hate this as your OG colorway.
I think it's because the colors on the bottom of the sole pop out so much at you that it looks like Play-Doh mixed together. So you have different color Play-Doh just put on a sole. And I think it's because it's so wide out in the open that it's just not pleasing to the eye for bigger sizes. But I do think that this would be a really dope child size, youth size, whoever wants to cop it to run some pickup basketball, whatever.
Yeah, they look extremely comfortable. Like if they were all like, why not release it in all black? Or do like New Orleans colors? Like why wouldn't you do the team you're on?
You mean keep the same colors and release it in all black?
No, I mean like make it like. Are they trying to go for a Mardi Gras theme? Like, what are they trying to do here? Like, how are you tying this to New Orleans or Zion? Like, it does. Like, Nike is like the greatest marketing company. Nike and Apple can market anything. Yet, I have no idea what this is going to be. Because I think these are like actual, like real looks. And let's be honest, Nike doesn't let anything leak that they don't want leaked.
No, that's a fact.
This would get shut down so fast if they didn't want anybody to see it before, like they could do that thing.
Yeah.
I don't believe they can't stop what they don't want. They can put the fear of God. They probably have so many lawyers that they could put the fear of God in anybody.
I call Nike the Thanos of like just the sneaker culture, to be honest with
The
you.
Thanos, yeah. These look like Thanos' shoes. They got all the affinity stones on the bottom.
Yo, I'm dead. I'm dead.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, they're not for me. As Randy says, they're not for me, dog. They're not for me. So
After
yeah,
all this time, this is the number one joke that you've made me actually laugh. Because usually you just have some jokes that need some H2O to it. Because they be dry. Dry as hell.
ouch, ouch. All right, what are we cooking?
Man.
What are we cooking up next? What?
So, I mean, we're going to save the best for last, but I think this one I like a lot. I think that's why I was just like, yo, let's just throw this in there. If you're a super huge South Park fan like I am, Adidas is dropping the. Do I call him? It's not Mr. Hanky. Mr. Hanky's the Christmas poo. So they're dropping South Park and Adidas are collaborating for a 420 shoe. Every 420, I feel like every year there's a shoe that's dropping that is super dope some way, somehow. You had the Skunks that dropped. Super dope. Can never go wrong. You had the Strawberry Cough. That was super dope. Can't go wrong. Now for
These
420 this
these
year.
are towel-y themed because they look like a towel. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Towley theme Campus 80s are coming soon. I think it will probably release at most sites before 420. I think probably like the day before, so 419. But keep those notifications on. But if you're a South Park fan like me, I'm definitely gonna go after these. It's rumored to say that 2 keychains are gonna come attached to it, and it's super dope because I just copped a whole bunch of South Park tees last week. Super old tees, but they're super crisp, and I can't wait. I can't wait, man. And if these sell out, my heart is gonna be broken. I'm telling you, like this whole sneaker game has done so many numbers on people that know exactly how easy it was for you to cop shoes years ago, right? So it's just like the times are changing, and for a shoe like this, if this sells out, I don't know. I don't know. I'm probably gonna have
I
to.
don't think it's gonna be that hard for you to get these.
Yeah, we said that about a couple other shoes, and still I have those. I do not have those.
But even the markups, I don't think it's gonna be that high. I don't think it's gonna be like
No, I don't
impossible.
I don't care about the markup, but what I'm saying is like, people are culture vultures, and then you have people that are in the community that actually want things. So think about it. If you don't go after what everyone else is going after, and you go for what you like,
Well, yeah, that's me.
you'll
That's
always
what I've been doing for years. But I don't think
you'll
people are.
always win.
I don't think the value is gonna be that high that people are gonna try to scoop them up. Like, I don't think that they're gonna be like, oh, I can make $10 on these. Let me scoop these up. Like, what are they reaching
People
for?
scoop up things. What do you mean? People scoop up things where they can make $20 on each shoe. Like,
No, but
there's people out there that do that.
but these aren't going to be something that's going to sell for like $400 that everybody's going to be going after.
Nah, it's
Like,
not gonna sell for $400, but it's that feel of like going to the website, being able to add to cart, hitting that checkout button. It's that feeling, not the feeling of going to GOAT, going to StockX, hitting bid now or buy now, and you have to put in all your information and wait 2-3 weeks for your shoe to get to you. Like, no, it's a different feel. Like it's just like when you used to camp outside for shoes. It's that type of feel, being able to add something to the cart, being able to check out, whether it's PayPal, paying for, using Klarna, using Afterpay, whatever the case might be. Yo, PayPal, come on, sponsor us.
PayPal. PayPal's got better
But
things
yeah,
to
it's just
do.
that feel. It's just the feel.
Like, so I'm always hard on Adidas and their collabs. So let me like at least like give them credit. I I'm cool with these. I I always give Adidas a hard time that I think some of their collabs are lazy. This is actually kind of cool and creative. I'm down with this one. I think it's actually pretty cool. It's fun. It all works for me. I like how it has the leather, sock liner. It's towel feel. It looks like it's under a blue light or whatever that light is called,
UV.
UV light, and it kind of like glows. To me, that's cool. Like I'm down with all this. I mean, they have so many like collabs that I think are just that make no sense to me. But this one it actually feels like there was some thought put into it. I kind of like it. I mean, clearly it's not for me. I'm not a huge South Park fan that I would buy a South Park shoe. Um, but I think it's like cool and clever. Like I'm glad they did it. Like I think for South Park fans, that's huge. It's also like great that they're doing it because South Park's been around forever, and sometimes it doesn't always get the recognition it deserves. I think
That's a fact.
I think South Park has been around for decades, and to be that relevant for that long and be that controversial, and I'm kind of glad they're like getting their recognition because it means a lot to a lot of people. But on the other side, they did have a collab that I want to make sure I talk about because they did something for Stark Industries,
Okay.
and it, it makes no sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense to me. They literally just took a pair of shoes and just wrote Stark Industries on it. Like, I don't know why. I saw it last night. Where did I see it on? Looks like it was on like Sneaker News or something. It says the ZX2K gets the Stark Industries. It's a capsule they're doing, and it looks like nothing Stark related. I don't know
Wait,
why.
Is Stark Industries a real thing, or is it just from the Marvel comics?
No, it's Tony Stark. It looks nothing like anything. I don't understand. There's no. They literally just like if you took the word Stark Industries off it, they just look like random shoes. Like there's nothing about that like makes me be like, oh, this is awesome. This is like Iron Man related. So like they do something really great with the South Park ones. It's like bold, it's fun,
Yeah.
and then they do something just. They literally just threw the name on. It's like the Prada ones all over again. It's there's nothing Stark Industries to me about it, and I got clearly I'm like a comic book fan, like superhero fan. Like to me, there's nothing. I don't understand it. They said they took hues from his Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
I don't see any of it. I don't know. I love the Iron Man movies, comics. They make no sense to me. So they do something great with like the South Park, and then they come back with a Stark Industries one that's just
It's fillers, my brother. Every company has it. Every company has fillers. I'm telling you, and I will repeat this
yeah.
to the
They
day
must
I
be.
croak in my
Well,
grave.
it just it's a cash grab is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to choose, I would do the black and orange ones, honestly. Because we all know Boost feels amazing.
Yeah, but like I don't get it. Like if like it's if I was like like I'm always gonna be a diehard Batman fan. Like love Batman, love everything about Batman. You just throw
Okay.
Batman's name on it, I'm not just gonna buy it. I mean, maybe there's some people out there who will, but to me, like I don't even know anybody who would even buy this. Like Stark Industries isn't even the grab. It's Iron Man. It's Tony Stark. Stark Industries is like nobody.
Well, Well, a little thing about me is, I'm a nerd, right? So I like to play video games. I like to do a lot of things. There, for those of you that are listening that have been, if you're on the East Coast, you've probably know people that have gone to like PAX East or something of that sort, like the gaming convention. I see those type of people which I'm that type of person. Actually, wear these. I would wear them. Honestly speaking, I would wear these.
Oh, I don't hate the shoes. The whole thing doesn't make any sense for me from like a collab standpoint. Like that just
Yeah,
to me as a collab makes no sense.
I mean, it makes sense in a way. It makes sense. I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't remind me of anything. Maybe his home base it reminds me of, like the outlining on the shoe, like the silvering. But some of them, yeah, some
Yeah,
of
I
them
don't know.
don't make.
Yeah.
Some
I
of them don't make sense.
it's a stretch.
Oh, by far,
I mean, it's a real stretch. Because
definitely by
if you
far.
took that off, it's just a like there's nothing different about it. It's not even like different colors. I don't know, but I'm not going to give it that much time because it's not worthy of it. Um, what else you got cooking? What else you want? What do you want to go to next?
Um, I mean, as you guys know, by the time this episode comes out, I mean the Hyper Royals will probably be out. So keep a lookout for those on your sneakers app, on all foot sites, things of that sort. Hook up the team, Matt and I. You know, we need a pair. They're
Man,
super fire.
the man needs them.
Yeah. But these threes, man, we got to talk about these threes. These threes is, oh my gosh. I
Say the name for me. What name are they?
so Matt. So a little thing about Matt. Matt wanted me to talk to you guys. So let me talk to you guys for a second about this shoe. I really don't know how to say the name. I'm not gonna
you
lie
have
to
the
you.
creepiest deep voice. It's
I
very,
do not know how to say the
that was
name of the
very
shoe.
upsetting.
I do not know how to say the. So for all of y'all that's gonna come for me in the comments, on Twitter, Instagram, whatever you name it, the Ma Maniere's Air Jordan 3 collab is releasing this month. And I probably butchered that name and I apologize to anyone out there that's like, this dude doesn't know what he's talking about. Majority of the time, I don't know what I'm talking about. But other times when I'm spot on, you guys don't even praise that. So, anyways, I apologize for butchering that name each and every way. But this old bottom sole feel like a creme de la creme sole feel, I like it. I really like it. And it has that texture on the inside of the sole. It's like a quilted texture, that's on the inside of the ankle part of the shoe itself. Do I think the only thing that they missed is just putting that A on that tongue? I don't really. That's the only thing that's a drawback for me. I don't
Okay.
really like the A on it, but I get it. It's a collaboration. You can do whatever they allow you to do. But overall, this shoe is 9 out of 10
So
on Johnny's rating.
I definitely want to now say that you always say I will buy any Jordan 3 with Nike Air on the back. I will not buy these. But there's some aspects that I do really like about this shoe. Now, it's not a buy for me. It's not for me. It's not my aesthetic for the most part, but I do like where they're going with some of the colors. I think this it's almost like a slate gray meets brown. I don't know how to describe it. I like it more, or like a mocha, maybe mocha on the a lot of it. I can't. It's hard to tell from pictures. So there are some aspects I really like. I love the inside. I think the quilted inside is extremely clever. I think that's really cool. I think that's outside the box. I haven't seen that very often. I like it. I do like on the back of the sole where they kind of did this burgundy mocha thing. I like that color. I like the aged midsole. I think that's kind of cool. I think they did some things right. Um, I I don't love suede for this whole thing to tie it in. I think you did this really kind of clever lining, like sock lining, but I don't think it fits with the collective aesthetic of the shoe. For me, if you're going to go with that really kind of like unique quilted inside sock liner, I think it'd be cool if you tied it in with another leather, or I don't think that color suede pulls it all together. And I also think like there would be more ways to incorporate it. I think that color suede maybe it's the color suede. or the type of suede with the rough. It's like the rough. It's not the smooth suede. It doesn't draw me in. I think there's something about it that doesn't fully draw me in, and I want to say it's the suede, because they kind of have this very clean, smooth silhouette for most of it, and then they have this rough suede. I also think what would have been really awesome was if they did that checkered feel, but they did as a leather sock liner and not a cloth. I want to say it looks like it's like a cotton or a cloth. So I think that would be a nice touch, but maybe that's a different shoe. So it's a pass for me, but I do think they put a lot of thought into it. I think it's creative. I applaud them for it. They did a lot of little things. And we go back to what we used to always talk about. They pay attention to the details. I like how they did the edges on all the leather to kind of give it that contrast. I think they did a lot of things right. I fully applaud a lot of things they did. So, I think this is awesome. Good for them. I'm glad they got a collab, and I'm sure a lot of people are gonna go crazy for this. It's a dope shoe. It's just not.
I think it's super fire, that quilted inside. I think
Yeah, it's a cool look.
Yeah. The suede part, I'm more or less, I like the suede part. I think overall the shoe does look pretty fire, but the quilted just like caught my eye.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
That feel is so different, and I think those are on the inside of the Animal Instinct 3s, if I'm not mistaken. One of the other 3s that I have, I think, has that quilted inside or something similar.
But it also makes me want more of this kind of color palette, this mocha burgundy feel. Yeah. I think you could build on this, and I would love to see, an elephant print one with like this with some more leather, or do that color with black, or do an all white shoe with the burgundy and the aged midsole. I think there's a lot of aspects that I really love about this that I'd be excited to see what you could do with it. And I think the Jordan 3 is one of the best silhouettes of all time anyways. And I think there's just so many amazing things you could do with this particular shoe. So I'm hoping that the future looks bright for this. I would be really excited to see some of the things. I like the aged midsole on this. I would have actually liked to see what it would have looked like with the aged going all the way across. The whole midsole, like, the white part above it. I would have liked to see that white part, and going around the toe box, see what it would have looked like, full 360. So, shout out to them. I think they did a really great job. I think a lot of people are going to go crazy for this. Not for me, but hats off. I think it's dope.
Yeah, super dope collab. And keep them coming.
And there's definitely, this is a big month. I think this is going to be a big month. We got, just a quick rundown. We got the Jordan 11 lows, the Legend Blues. You got the OG Hyper Royals. You got the Toros, which that still blows my mind that people are freaking out when those were just sitting on the shelves back in the day. Like, that whole thing blows my mind. Like, I remember seeing those at the outlets. Like, those were outlet shoes. If you remember back then, I remember seeing those at outlets.
They legit were sitting everywhere.
But now people are freaking out. Like, it's like this, they're going to sell it instantly. They sat there forever. And now people are going crazy. Those and the blue ones were outlet shoes. Now people are freaking out. And the funny thing is, I wanted to buy them back in the day, but they were just, I think they were probably still back then I didn't have a lot of money. They were probably still $80, $90. I didn't want to spend it. Right. But they were readily available. And if you have big sizes, those were always there in the big sizes. Like 13s, 14s, 15s, 16s, those were always there.
Big old foot. Old Bigfoot monster having ass. That's a big toe.
Well, it's mostly athletes at those sizes.
Sheesh.
I mean, you probably see a ton of athletes. That's probably why, you don't see... You see athletes in shoes where it's... that they must make them because there's some guys that have, huge feet, but the run doesn't go that high. So you look at, a shoe and you're like, oh, it only goes to size 13. How does, Dwight Howard have those on? You know what I mean? Some, big guys that have, a size 18 shoe. You're like, how does this guy...
a custom-made one of one. Like, Shaq wears, an 18 or something?
No, I think he's, high. I think he's, a 20 or 21.
Is he really?
Yeah, it's absurd. I can actually Google it. Shaq. I mean, it's very like
I feel like it's like a
20. Oh, it's a
18.
23. It's a
My man
23.
gonna have arthritis in the toes. His toes gonna have kids. Like
I mean,
crazy.
Kevin Durant wears an 18.
Yo, I don't understand. I also never understood why certain shoes only went to certain sizes. And I think it's just like the time and effort to put in for each size because you have to think about it as well. Like
Well, it's
you have
cost.
to
It's sheer
allocate so many
cost.
pairs for each size. So if you need to allocate 25 pairs or 30 pairs or however many pairs you're making to actually ship to different stores, it's different shoes. Like for some stores might not get like a 5.5 or a 6,
Oh,
but another
it's
store
cost
might.
metrics because of just like the lasts and all the things that go into it. I mean, they have the lasts for every Jordan in every size, so it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. They have those lasts probably up to size 21, 22, and the sole doesn't change. But all these new ones, they change every year. Like if it's not a Kobe or a LeBron or a Jordan, they may not have it. It's just not cost effective because that might be 150 grand to get machinery set up to make that shoe.
No,
I
that's
don't
a
I don't
fact.
know what custom things go behind the scenes to make things in mass quantities, but like it might just be it might not be cost, beneficial.
Yeah.
I,
I
I'm
I
sure it's
I
all
see
money.
it.
I'm sure it's all money related. I can't imagine because if they could, they would. They would just make it.
Ev- Everything's about money, brother.
Yeah.
Everything.
So
Every
I'm assuming it's that, but there's a lot coming out this month. I mean, you got that. You got the UNC Blues, the fours finally coming out, which is very upsetting to me because I love that shoe, but the Oreo cookiness of it kind of ruins it for me.
I mean, if you it obviously everyone knows this by now. Times are changing to where like every week something is dropping,
Yeah, it's
and I
like
feel like
crazy.
it's just hard to keep up. And if you're trying to keep up, you're just putting yourself in more debt. But um,
I still haven't bought a shoe in
also,
2021 yet.
you haven't.
Not a single shoe.
You bought the Grinches, didn't you? That wasn't. That
No.
wasn't. You said 2022. We're in
It's
2021.
2021. Sorry, no, I haven't bought a single. No, because the Grinches were last year. Those came out on
You
Christmas Eve.
bought them last year. You
Yeah.
didn't buy them in January.
No.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I haven't. Maybe.
Well,
Yeah, like right at the end of the year.
I ended up getting the Bacons and the All Stars. Those are the only ones that I got this year. I don't think I bought. Oh, and the Delomios. The Delomios I got this year.
You,
Yeah,
you,
I mean, at this point, like I
there's
said,
not nothing
every
that I
time it
want.
comes around, I get what I get. If I don't get it, whatever, I'm moving on. Like
There's
if it's at a
there's
steel
like two,
price,
maybe three pairs I want this year, and they're all at the end of the year. I want the patent leather ones, those breads, and I want the bread ones. I want the cool gray 11s, and I don't know. There's maybe like one other that I want, but
I mean, don't sleep. There's gonna be a lot more heat dropping. That's just gonna be a shock to a lot of people. Where it's not gonna be advertised, just like last year. A lot of sneakers weren't advertised. It was just like, here you go, and stuff still sold out.
well,
You know what I mean?
I
So
also want the South Beaches if they do release this year. I don't know if they will, but that was the rumor they were going to release this year.
yeah. And if you haven't seen that trailer of Space Jam, the remake,
Yep.
make sure you guys go watch that. I'm not a big fan of it, just me personally. I don't really like a lot of remakes of uh childhood movies, I guess you could say. But I think it's gonna be dope.
I mean, they're
I
clearly
think a lot of
like
people are
they
gonna
even
like
had
it.
they had like a remix of some of the OG songs.
Oh, I didn't look that deep
No,
into it. I just like the
right when
fact
you
that they
heard it,
added
like right when he was
more.
going into the tunnel, you heard like "Welcome to the Space Jam," and they had like a different beat to it.
Yeah, I just like the fact that they added more characters into the movie. I think that
How
was
about
pretty
Pepe
good.
Le Pew getting that snub? Woo, man, that guy, poor guy, he didn't get a
That's
chance.
like that's like coming out with Mulan and not putting Mushu in the movie. That's why I didn't watch it. And just cutting Pepe out of, oh my gosh, just out of the movie. Like, how do you do that? How do you do that? Very iconic character. Like everyone knows he was an iconic character in the movie. But, we don't make the rules, man. We just see how the rules are being played out, and, who makes a cameo, who doesn't make a cameo, and I think it's gonna be dope. I think it's gonna come out on HBO Max, all streaming platforms. I don't think, by the time it comes out, theaters are still gonna be low capacity for people to actually come in and actually watch it. So,
Yeah, I think most people are probably just gonna watch it on HBO Max. I mean, it is what it is, but it's I mean, it's hard. Nothing's ever gonna compare. I mean, we're also looking back nostalgic, but like there's kids now that'll like see it, and in all honesty, it makes sense. Like modern day, like LeBron is their Jordan.
yeah,
I mean, to kids nowadays, that's all they know. They only know they're gonna be like, remember when LeBron did this? I mean, we're a little bit older. We remember Jordan, so
yeah.
I mean, I get it. I mean, there's kids who remember Kobe. It's like it.
Yeah.
It's your generation. It's a generational thing. I mean, so I mean,
And I think
get
a lot of people don't look at it like that, right? Like a lot of people don't look at the generational timeline.
Yeah.
Like you say, like Jordan is the LeBron for a certain community, and Kobe and Jordan is for another community. And a lot of people are able to go back in the archives, whether it be YouTube, whether it be, just videos people have stored somewhere, and just see the past times of when these other individuals just killed the game the way that LeBron is killing it in his generation. So
Yeah, it's
definitely a
circumstantial.
generation.
Yeah, so I mean, I enjoy it. And Space Jam holds up. I watched it with my little guy, and he enjoyed it. Like it's cute. Like it's fun. It holds up. Not every movie holds up over time, but it was fun. Like we watched it, and I'm sure kids nowadays will love it too. I mean, are most of us salty that are around our age? Yeah, they're like, yo, man, don't be doing that. Don't be doing Jordan like that. But I'm sure it'll be fine. Like,
No, yeah, I think it's gonna be a good time, especially if you have a little one. I think it's gonna be super dope. I'm probably gonna end up watching it. I'll just wait for all the hype to die down because I don't like watching stuff while it's hyped up by people. And then I'll take a look at it. But I think it's a kind of like a different story to it as well. You know what I mean? So
it's gonna be
we'll
similar,
see.
and they're gonna try to do some things to pay homage, but I think it'll be like you said, it'll be different.
No,
So
that's a fact.
it is what it is. I'm looking forward to it. But as always, we appreciate everybody listening. Make sure you subscribe, you like, you comment, you fax us, you beep us, you send us some snail mail, presents. I like presents. And Johnny, where can everybody find you?
Man, you guys know where you can find me at all times, every time. Here at work is where you can find me because they working me like a slave today. They're not letting me get a break, man. I had to run away to do this episode for y'all and get a break. Nah. But you guys can follow me at Johnny Sneaks, JohnnySneaks. That's on Instagram, Twitter, and your favorite pantry. You'll probably find me in there too. So my brother Farmer Matt, where we finding you, brother?
You can find me at I am Matt Roach on all the platforms, the IG and the twits. But we appreciate y'all. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
New pairs that I gotta get. Welcome to the sneaker closet. New pairs that I gotta get. Welcome to the sneaker closet. New pairs that I gotta get. Welcome to the sneaker closet. New pairs that I gotta get. Welcome to the sneaker closet.